Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Valoramous, and in today's DJ tutorial, I'm going to discuss the extra but necessary and/or beneficial equipment that you need for your CDJ-3000 and DJ-M Nexus 2 mixer setup. So this tutorial assumes that you already have this system itself, which is the two CDJ-3000s and the DJ-M Nexus 2 mixer. But what are some other pieces of equipment that you need that will enhance the overall setup and performance of your DJ sets on this system? The first piece of equipment that you will need is going to be a thumb drive. The thumb drive will be able to connect to at least one of these CDJ-3000s, but potentially two if you have your Cat5 cables connected through a router, which I'm going to get into in a minute, connected to all components of this overall system. But you want this thumb drive to be durable so you can carry it during transport or during travel and then arrive safely at your gig with all of your MP3s intact on this device. The second piece of equipment you'll need is obviously going to be headphones. Now I use the Sennheiser HD25 headphones, but these headphones are personal. You really don't want to borrow someone else's headphones because it's a hygienic standard. But these headphones you will be able to insert into the top of the DJ-M Nexus 2 mixer, and then through the cue points, you can hear the track being played before you play this out to the audience. The third piece of equipment that you will want to purchase, and this is a not necessary but a beneficial piece of equipment, are going to be deck savers. You will be amazed at how much dust will actually collect on these systems if you just leave the system sitting out overnight or over the course of a week or a month in your home, apartment, your studio, etc. But if you purchase several of these deck savers, this will protect your system not only from wear and tear, but also from dust itself, and keep the system a bit cleaner and also operating more efficiently. So I purchased two deck savers for the CDJ-3000 and then one for the DJ-M Nexus 2 mixer. And you can also purchase these deck savers for controllers and really for any type of DJ equipment, but I highly recommend you get this stuff because it also helps when you're setting up your system. Let's say you're playing with a controller at a bar. It helps to have these deck savers because while you're setting up your system, you can protect your decks from the elements while you are completing the remainder of your setup. And trust me, this will save you because when you're in environments where there's alcohol and food and drink, having this, you want to keep your deck protected as long as possible for the moment you actually start playing live. And I think setting up the entirety of the system while having this deck in place will give you a level of security that you're not going to have a patron that's going to dump his or her drink on your system or dump food or what have you. But I would say invest money in this. It's not a huge expense, but it will give you an increased level of professionalism and security while you are setting up your system in a live environment or simply just from dust at your house, because these systems will accrue a lot of dust if you leave these systems unprotected. Now, the next piece of gear that I recommend you purchase is going to be a microphone. You can purchase a microphone with an XLR cable or purchase a wireless microphone. I have the XLR cable, and over the years, I have had to replace the XLR cable. This is an easily replaceable part. So if the cable ever becomes non-operational, you can simply buy a new XLR cable. But you will want a microphone, especially if you're doing private events, because you will have to make announcements during the night, either to push forward the event schedule, make announcements for the bride and groom or for the corporation or for the private entity that is hiring you in the first place to conduct that private event. But you also need this for public gigs as well too, because public gigs, there is times when you need to get on the microphone to either make announcements or hype the crowd or provide direction to the patrons. Like, for example, it's last call, or you have 15 minutes or 5 minutes until closing. It sometimes helps to have this microphone to assist the management of that bar, that club, that nightclub establishment while you're playing a live gig. And then the next piece of equipment that I highly recommend you buy, because if you do not buy this equipment, you will actually need to buy two thumb drives with the same or different music for each of your CDJ-3000s. But the equipment that you need to prevent you from having to buy multiple thumb drives and program multiple thumb drives, it's going to be a switch. Now, I have an 8-port switch right here, but this switch is connected with 3 Cat5 cables running into both CDJ-3000s and then running into the DJ-M Nexus 2 mixer. So this switch allows all 3 parts of this overall system to communicate and connect with one another. That way, when you insert a thumb drive here it'll actually read on this device as well too. And you'll know this is true because I can play the same track on either deck from the same playlist. So I have one track playing right now, and now I can play the next track. It's the same track actually. You can hear the same track, so I can go to deck A or B. It's the same track from this thumb drive, and without this switch, you will have to have two thumb drives connected into each CDJ-3000, which is a huge pain. Now, you could have a backup thumb drive for your gigs, especially if you're traveling on the road. That would be a good tip to have because it's always nice to have redundancy. But with that switch, you only need to have the one thumb drive while you're playing live. So there you have it. Those are the 5 pieces of equipment that I recommend you buy that are either necessary or very beneficial for the overall setup of the CDJ-3000s and DJI 900 XS2 mixer. And those pieces of kit, again, are a thumb drive, headphones, a microphone, the deck savers, and then the switch. If you buy all these pieces of the puzzle, this will help improve the overall performance, professionalism, aesthetic, and overall security and cleanliness of your system, and then allow you to focus on the task at hand, which is actually performing and rocking the crowd live at either a public or a private event. So if you have any other tips, tricks, questions, comments, concerns, or other suggestions for pieces of equipment that a DJ should buy for the overall establishment of the system or increased performance of the system, please leave those in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.